Well, good morning. Another day on the AAT. So I haven't hiked for 3 days now. It's been like in the mid 90s and just horrible. So when it's hot in the West Coast, it usually the wind will pick up and it'll become very dry. When it's hot on the East Coast, the wind dies down and it becomes very humid. So how people are walking on this trail, I don't know. It's not me. How people aren't medevaced every day for heat stroke, I don't know. It's just too insanely hot. Today is a better day. It rained last night hard, so it's only about 80 degrees now, but 95% humidity. So the last time I hiked, when I got to the end, I was drenched. I mean, I could take my shorts off and then just wring them out with sweat. Um, when it's this hot and this humid, you just sweat like crazy. So the body uses sweat to cool itself, right? It's supposed to evaporate. That's how swamp coolers work. If you've ever used that in a house, swamp coolers work by evaporation. So the body cranks out sweat, and that's supposed to evaporate, but it doesn't evaporate here. So the body goes, well, I'll just crank out more sweat. And that doesn't evaporate either. So your core gets really, really hot. And how people don't drop dead from heat strokes, I don't know. It's amazing. Maybe they're just, being younger has that ability to tolerate fantastic heat. And also in the jungle here, it's just jungle. There's zero wind. I mean, on the PCT, there's just usually a nice breeze. So even though it might be 90 degrees, you got a beautiful wind, and it's 20% humidity. So it's not so affecting you. So it turns out that even yes, Bart has a tipping point of misery that I'm willing to endure, and it's just too much. It's nice now, but this heat's going to be back tomorrow. The Northeast was spared from this massive countrywide heat wave, but it's creeping up to the Northeast, so it'll be in the 90s again. So I think I'll just do 3 more days here in Vermont, 2 or 3 days in New Hampshire, 2 or 3 days in Maine, and go climb up to Katahdin. I'm not going to drive 3,000 miles out here and not see the mountain. So gonna go do that. I think we're gonna head down to Cape Cod and then Philadelphia, and then kind of head west and go see some friends in the Midwest, and then go down and check out Colorado again. And so that sounds like more fun. Today, gonna go north. There's not much to see. It's just, I can remember being at my desk last winter, and people were talking about the Green Tunnel, and I said it can't be the Green Tunnel the whole way. Yes, it can. And the Green Tunnel can get, when it's hot and steamy in the jungle, it just can feel almost claustrophobic. In that it's like closing in on you. I don't really have that great of a sense of that, but I can see how that is a deal. Boy, it looks just like Georgia. I mean, I'm sure Georgia looks just like this now, after it got all its growth. On the PCT, again, you could show me a picture of pretty much anywhere, any view, and I can tell where you are within 20 miles. Here, I just would have no idea. Is this Georgia? Is this North Carolina? Is this Virginia? I don't know. So, enough griping. Gonna go and walk. It's gonna be muddy as stuff because, boy, it just poured. But gonna go check it out. And here's my view. Wow, that's a steel I-beam. How did they get it? Here, I guess lower it through the double canopy. Very expensive. And I have great respect for slanted rocks now. Great respect for slanted, wet, mossy rocks. This is a place called Little Rock Pond. Pretty big pond. Yes, it's just as humid as it looks. It's like a steam room. Somebody took the time to pile up a bunch of rocks. Interesting. Another rock garden. Somebody left their hat. Coming up on a country road. Boy, that's a darn nice country road too. Look at that, just smooth as glass. Beautiful. About 0.2 from the end of my day. That's it for today. See you tomorrow. Okay, next day started off with a 1,000-foot climb and a walk in the woods. So at the top of the 1,000-foot climb, and this is my view. So it's just called a pointless up and down. There was really no point. There's no view. There's nothing to see. And when you look at the contour map, they could have easily just gone around it. I don't understand it, and like I say, I just need to turn my brain off because it's just mind-numbing after the first 1,000 pointless ups and downs. It's like, what was that about? On the PCT, you can kind of see where they're going, what the goal is to get to this ridge, and I'm going to walk for the next 20 miles on that ridge. But here, I guess the goal is just to go to the top of the hill and go back down, which is a really not great goal. It's about time for me to go somewhere else, huh? It's a fern garden. Dang, is that a view? Am I on the right trail? Did I miss a turn? Wow, and a nice breeze too. That's an airport. Pretty much say that's an airport. Beautiful. What a ton of places to camp. This is Clarendon Gorge. Looks like a pretty cool bridge. Wow. Holy moly. The guys out there. This is actually pretty scary. Whoa. I'm glad there's chain link on the side. Wow. Boy, that did move a lot. Very cool. About 0.1 from the end of my day. So that's it for the day. I'll see you tomorrow. Well, good morning. So today, going to be heading into the town of Hanover, and it actually walks through Dartmouth. So it's one of those really cool parts of the trail that I like. I like walking through the towns. So let's go look at this. So coming up on the town of West Hartford. It looks like it's a little bit of a road walk here on gut hooks. Not one of the best roads I've walked on yet. Not much shoulder, but it is a very quiet road. Cute homes. I must say, all the homes in New England have just been off the cute scale. Just beautiful homes. Now that's a barn. Holy cow, what is that, 4 stories? Magnificent. As I say, absolutely no shoulder. Does anybody mow the shoulders of the road here? I don't think so. Coming up on the White River comes a big truck. Maybe I'll pull over the other side. Some young guys testing their manhood by jumping off the bridge. Hey, good. It's a long way down. It's good to be young. Well done. Off the cute scale. Old church. That's seen better days too. Like one of the windows is missing. And of course, one thing in back of every church, really old cemeteries. Coming from the West Coast, I'm just not used to seeing gravestones from the 1700s. I like walking through graveyards, very peaceful. In case you don't know how to read AT blazes, one blaze directly over another indicates an intersection, and then if there's a third blaze that's a bit off, it's going to the right. So here's an intersection going to the right. Well, I'm going 3 miles per hour. Isn't that slow enough? About to go under the 89 freeway. So about to come up on an intersection by the way the blazes are marked. I think the trail heads off into that jungle somewhere. I see a blaze, so must be on the right path. At the top of Griggs Mountain, which was a 1,500-foot climb from the town of West Hartford, which I showed below. Not much going on. Gnats trying to fly into my eyes. Love it. But I've got to admit, the insects have been pretty good. From what I've heard in the past, there were things like black biting flies, which I haven't seen any of. Mosquitoes here and there, but not like the swarms that I thought would be here. I've not pulled a tick off me yet, and it's just mainly consistently gnats trying to fly into your eyes. About 5 miles to the town of Norwich, Vermont, and then cross the river into Hanover and Dartmouth University. One of the lovely sections where the AT uses an abandoned forest road. This is definitely one of the nicer sections I think I've seen in a while. Mostly a dirt, smooth trail, only a few rocks and roots. Thumbs up. A while ago I came across a guy and his girlfriend who were kind of just feeling sick from the heat. And it's like, boy, you've got to be careful. It can be misleading that when you're in town, well, it feels great, but after you do a few climbs and you're not used to the heat, it can really make you sick. I know my wife twice. I wasn't sure she was going to not pass out because it's hot, it's humid. Not on this trail. One on the PCT and once on the CDT. But boy, just she has a terrible time. One thing she does now that I was telling her to do was to add some salt to her water. And she says since she's been doing that, it just made all the difference. That she feels like she doesn't get dizzy, doesn't feel nauseous, feels normal. So I mean, I don't have a problem with the heat. I do the heat really well. I don't enjoy it. But it doesn't make me sick. And I'm usually the one who doesn't sweat that much either, but on this trail, it's a steam bath. So it can be tough. And part two is they were like 5 miles out on a day hike. You have to be able to walk out. You can't just assume you can walk out and walk back if you don't do it on a regular basis. So they get too far out, you feel sick, and then you wonder, how am I going to walk 5 miles back? So it's important to be aware there is danger in doing this. There's nowhere to pull off. There's no gas station. You have to be able to walk out. So just be careful if you're going out into the heat. Come prepared. Don't go too far out. Try it out first. See how well you tolerate heat. Yeah, one of my friends who I've hiked a lot with, if he lets his salt concentration go too low, he'll get really dizzy when he tries to, bend over or to stand up quickly. So once he added salt back, he doesn't get dizzy. So it's an important thing. I think we've been so kind of taught that salt's bad, when actually human beings need salt. So I carry like a little packet of salt for gnats, for just such occasions. And one of the problems is that people just drink what we call free water, which is just tap water. So it's water that doesn't have any of the other minerals in it. And so when you just drink free water, that tends to drop your sodium level even further. So it's a common thing that you'll hear that people were trying to drink water, but they couldn't keep it down. And that's because they're becoming really super hyponatremic, hyposodium. And usually the kidneys can maintain the sodium level, but under these extreme circumstances of heat and drinking a lot of free water, they've got a real hard time doing that. So your sodium level drops, and you don't feel so good. In conjunction, you're sweating out a gallon of salt in your sweat. So it's just a bad setup. Perfect storm: heat, sweat, drinking free water, kidneys that maybe don't retain sodium so well. So the reason I probably do better in the heat than most people do, as far as salt goes, is I usually don't sweat. I sweat less than most people, and I probably have kidneys that are really good at retaining what sodium I do have. And that. Now on a road called Elm Road, which leads into Norwich, Vermont. Nice rusty roof and a pond and green grass. Coming from California, you never see green grass that's not on a golf course or in somebody's lawn that's not being irrigated. It's very, it still strikes me as odd that the grass could be green. Wow, that's a nice setup. Huge house and like a carriage house, good a 3-car garage, and then some kind of barn / mother-in-law out in back of that too. Wow. It's pretty. With a happy little swing. Beautiful Norwich, Vermont. Little gazebo off the cute scale. Norwich Historical Society. Even on the road, they give you blazes. Boy, that's an old bygone day train station. Coming up on the state line. This is the Connecticut River. Vermont, New Hampshire. Everybody's paddleboarding these days. Coming up on the Dartmouth University, lots of housing for all the students. That's a Dartmouth car. Wow. Are you going to Dartmouth? Beautiful, look at that. Reminds me of the movie Educating Rita, where she's looking at the students going, all the proper students. Looks like trying to copy Lincoln Center. I don't know what it costs to go here, but I bet it's not cheap. Wow, I don't know what that is. An Egyptian tomb, I guess. Buffy and Muffy and Skippy. Frat house. Where's Delta Iota Kappa at? Van Wilder fans will understand that. It's strange, being around college campuses now kind of makes me a little bit nervous. I swear I've spent half of my adult life in college, at least half. And I'm still at 68 paying on student loans. And I still have a nightmare at least once every couple months where I'm in a class I didn't even know I was in, and they tell me there's a test on just Tuesday, and I'm like, a test? And it's like, well, maybe I can buy the book and I can cram it all in before Tuesday and pass the test. It's like I dream that over and over again. College is just it's a major mind game, and I never want to spend another hour, not one more hour of my life in a classroom. I think if I had to live my life over again, I'd become a professional golfer or somebody who invents things, not go to college. College just teaches you how to work for somebody else, and that's it. Anyway, that's it for me and Vermont, so thanks for watching.